Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I'm super happy that you're here. Thanks for tuning in as always. I'm excited to do another review for you. And today's topic is going to be fragrances I'm wearing in this fall season. But before I start, my name is Martin, and if you're new here, I do perfume reviews, which means I talk about all types of fragrances, whether it's niche, Middle Eastern, designer, everything. I'm here for that. And if this sounds like something you're into, then please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. And now let's get to the review. So I'm gonna talk, as I already said, about fragrances I'm wearing for this fall because we're now in fall season. And I've already saw a few comments where people were asking, okay, I would really like to know your how can I say, your routine, which fragrances you're wearing last few weeks or in the fall season in general. And yes, let's get started. So the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is actually, I think, a classic, and this is Ambre Nuit by Dior. I think this is a beautiful, warm, ambery fragrance with some earthy patchouli. It's kind of smoky, kind of fruity in the opening because you have grapefruit in here, you have pink pepper in here, and this just gives me fall vibes. It's, as the name says, like Ambre Nuit. You have like a lot of amber in here. This is the main character. I love amber fragrances, and I think that this note in general is perfect for the fall. Like it shines the most in general in the fall season, not only because of the color, but in general, like of the quality and the way it smells. You know, it's kind of warm, it's kind of cozy as well, and I think it's the same with the scent. As I already said, you have a kind of fruity opening, you have the earthy patchouli, you have the grapefruit in here. I think this is very sophisticated, very elegant, but still appropriate for every day, and it's quite long lasting. I got around, I would say, 5 to 6 hours. If I like overspray, I can get up to 8 hours. So the next fragrance is actually a fragrance I have in my collection for not so long, which is Roses Vanille by Montale. And this is very similar to Intense Cafe, which I used to have in my collection, but I was like, okay, because I ran out of it, I wanted to try something new, but like not totally new. I just wanted to use this one as an alternative just to see how it works. For me, these fragrances are nearly the same. I would say from like the feel of the perfume, this is like less oily because like Montale fragrances have like the very oily consistency, which this one doesn't have, and I really like that. I think in general, this reminds me of Istanbul actually because I kind of associate that scent with Istanbul in general, and it also smells like Turkish delight, like lokum with some rose aroma. So you do have to like sweet, synthetic, gourmand fragrances, and you do have to like rose. This one is heavy on the rose and heavy on the vanilla, super long lasting. Definitely unisex, but kind of feminine leaning, which I don't mind. And I usually layer this fragrance just like every other fragrance I have here. Even though like I'm mentioning the fragrances, there's like the fragrances I wear the most, but I also like used to layer with other fragrances the most. And then we have another gourmand fragrance I don't have for a long time now, which is Casablanca by Swiss Arabian. I love this scent so much. I think, first of all, it was super hard for me to get this fragrance because somehow always it was sold out. And then I had like a lucky moment where I found this one online on Notino. I thought, okay, let me pull the trigger, get this one and see if the hype is real, if it's really worth it. I definitely think it's worth it. What you get here is like a beautiful apple pie scent with vanilla. This smells like a super sweet, yeah, apple pie. You have that patchouli kind of like balsamic touches, but it's very much in the background. Mostly what you get here is apple. You get like a little bit like of grapes, but it smells like more of baked apple and vanilla. I think this is a long lasting, like a beast mode fragrance. Actually, I can spray this in the morning and still late afternoon. I can still smell myself, and I love to layer this fragrance. Of course, with other fragrances, I think it's perfect on its own, but because it's me, I love to layer this fragrance. And I actually like to layer this fragrance a lot with Khamrah by Lattafa. So these two together are perfect. And this is the next thing I'm going to talk about. So Khamrah. I remember the first time when I smelled this, I did like it, but I wasn't like super stunned by it. Even though it's like such an amazing scent, you cannot tell me otherwise. But I kind of fell in love with the scent a few weeks ago. I started to wear this more often and more often, and I think it's perfect for the fall It's kind of boozy. It's very sweet, and it also has like a smell of apple pie. But you also have like the dates, like dried fruits, dipped in honey. It's very sweet, as I already said. You have like some spicy touches. I feel like I get cinnamon, for example, and I think this is the perfect fall winter fragrance. Definitely unisex. It's so good that I actually ordered me another bottle, and yes, I'm definitely gonna keep on wearing this one in the fall. Then what we have here, let's get away from the gourmand section for now. Um, and this is the other scent. This is Gris Charnel by BDK. And I actually smelled this one on a friend of mine. Like she used to have it, or she still has it. But I remember going to the perfumery and I was like, I want to try something new. And then I saw this scent, I tried it, and I fell in love instantly. I think this is such a elegant fragrance, perfect for that for like every day. It's super sophisticated, but not in a way where you feel like, okay, it's too elegant or not like appropriate for everyday, because this is appropriate for everyday. I think this is the type of scent I'm wearing if I don't know what else to wear in the fall. This to me smells like a spicy chai latte and figs. I love figs in fragrances, and I think just the mixture of it, because you like have a lot of cardamom in here as well, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful blend. It's very cozy, very comforting, and I love to like wear this fragrance on its own, and I love to layer this fragrance actually with Alien by Thierry Mugler. I think this is such a stunning combination, and it also gave me a lot of compliments. When it comes to longevity, I wouldn't say like this is a beast mode fragrance, but it projects and people will smell you. Like, even though, because I think this is the type of scent where you kind of get used to it, not a nostalgic, but you're just used to it, and then you don't really smell it, but other people will still keep on smelling you. And I think with this one, you're good to go with like 6 to 7, maybe 8 sprayers. It's enough for like for the next hours. It's gonna leave a nice sillage, a nice scent trail, and I think this is a type of scent that just leaves a nice impression. Then we have a few more fragrances. Let's stay niche, and this one is Casamorati 1888 by Xerjoff. I have this fragrance in my collection for 8 or 9 months now, or I think less. I think it's 8 months, 7 months, and I used to wear it. I blind bought this fragrance. I don't know why. I was just super intrigued by the notes because you have saffron. I was like, okay, perfect. I love saffron. Some like floral notes. You have carnation. I was like, okay, okay. I'm just gonna try it. The price was okay. I paid like I think around 180 euro. I know it's a lot for a blind, but I really, really just wanted to have this fragrance, and also because of the amber. This is like an amber bomb. A lot of amber. And I remember when I received it, I was like, okay, it's nice, but it's definitely like a fragrance I need to keep wearing more often so it kind of grows on me. And it really is like that. Now I just love this scent. I think it is perfect for the fall. It's warm, it's ambery, and I think it's such a unique scent because, on the one hand, it kind of smells like bubblegum, but in the best way possible. It's something like this fragrance has something very vintage about that, which I also love, and also in the best way possible. And it kind of smells like Coca-Cola, like very, very unique blend. And I think this kind of goes in the direction. I wouldn't say like it's exactly that, but if you like fragrances like Dior Homme de Eau de Parfum, or if you like Tonka Cola by Monstera, then you're gonna love this fragrance as well. It's unisex, but I would definitely say it goes more into that masculine direction. And of course, I love to layer this fragrance. I, for example, love to layer this fragrance with Naxos by Xerjoff, which is one of my all-time favorites. Or I love to layer this fragrance with Eternal Oud by Lattafa, which is this one here. So let me put the bottle away. And Eternal Oud, this is a hype beast. I think this is like the most hyped fragrance this year from Lattafa. I think it's a very nice release. I think it's definitely worth the hype. The first time I smelled this one, I didn't like it at all. I was like, oh my god, like what is this even? Because I just had like a small tester. But then I don't know what happened. I felt like let me just order the fragrance, because my nose kind of changed. You know, my preferences kind of changed as well. So I felt like I'm somehow intrigued to try this scent. And I think I paid 35 euro, 36 euro, something like that. And I knew if I don't like it, I'm just gonna gift it to someone like my father or my boyfriend or whatsoever. And when I tried this one again, I fell in love instantly. I was like, okay, wow, this is really worth it. This one is, how can I explain it? On the one hand, there's something boozy about that, but fruity boozy. Like you have a plum note in here. You have lavender, refreshing lavender, and vanilla. A lot of vanilla. And this is supposed to be a dupe for Grand Soir by MFK. I think it's a very nice dupe, definitely worth it. If you're looking for an alternative or dupe in general for that scent, go with this one here. You're not gonna be disappointed at all. I think it's long lasting, it projects a lot, just like nearly every Lattafa fragrance. It's inexpensive, great blend, great presentation. I mean, just the bottle is stunning. It's really, let's say 9 out of 10, because I think it can always get better, but still one of the most beautiful bottles and packagings in general I've ever received. And I would say it is also quite masculine leaning, but definitely unisex. And as well, you can just layer with something sweeter or something, I don't know, like more floral, just to give it a little bit more of a feminine touch. But yes, as I always say, there's no gender when it comes to fragrances. Wear whatever you want to wear, but I just try to keep my content as, like, how can I say, neutral and understandable for everyone, because only because I think that way doesn't mean like everyone else thinks that way as well. So there are people definitely out there that feel like some fragrances are feminine, some are masculine, and some fragrances should be worn by this or by this gender. I don't think so, but I'm just trying to give you like an idea. So yes, this one is unisex, just slightly masculine leaning. And then we have three more fragrances. This one here, Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. I think perfect for the fall, perfect for the winter as well. I generally like Tom Ford fragrances. The only thing is I think they're overpriced and they're not so long lasting. Not with this one here. This is long lasting enough for me. I think this projects beautifully. You start with like some spicy opening. You have like that bitter cacao kind of note in here. It's kind of chocolatey. You have the vanilla. You have the beautiful tobacco. Beautiful notes, perfect for the fall. And I just think this is unisex as well. Great for layering. I, for example, love to layer this fragrance with actually Roses Vanille by Montale, or I love to layer this fragrance with what else is there? Yeah, Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. Another great layering combination. Then we have, this is such a classic, Amir Oudh Intense by Lattafa. Stunning, one of the best fragrances from Lattafa, hands down. I think this one really deserves even more hype, in my personal opinion. It's supposed to be a dupe for By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela, and it's an amazing dupe. I think this one is even better than the OG, which mostly I don't think of dupes, but I like this one over the OG. I've tested like the original one a few times. I think this is like very like better blended. It's like very the notes harmonize with each other better in general, and I think that it's less smoky. It's kind of sweeter, kind of more gourmand leaning. You have that beautiful roasted marshmallow note. You have like that smokiness in general, that vanilla. According to Lattafa, you have oud in here. I don't really get any oud, and if yes, then it's like just a little doses of it. You definitely have like the woody touches, but it's like smoky wood and sweet marshmallows. Definitely unisex, also perfect for layering. And I mean, I paid, I think, €20 online. It's just crazy. I think they could be like selling this for 50, €60. I don't want to give them any ideas, but I would still keep purchasing this fragrance because it's really worth it. And then we have, last but not least, Infinity by Montale. And this is actually their newest release, as far as I know, or one of their newer releases. Definitely my favorite release from them this year. What you have here is a beautiful dark cherry note. You have, I feel like you get the leather, definitely, like there's leather listed, and you have leather in here. You have like an earthy patchouli. You have some oud, as far as I know, as well. I don't really get oud. I get more like that leather, a lot of leather, definitely that earthy patchouli. I get that sweet cherry, but like it's not a synthetic sweet cherry, you know, like in Lost Cherry, for example. This one is deeper, this one is darker, and it's just less sweet in general. And there's something very mysterious about that fragrance. It's very mysterious, it's very dense, very sensual as well. I remember trying this the first time. I was like, wow, okay, this one is really good, and I need to have this one. And so I got this one, and I love also to layer this fragrance with other fragrances. I actually like to layer this one as well with Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, or I love to layer this one with Oud for Glory by Lattafa. I love to layer this one with Mochra by Lattafa. A lot of actually layering combos you can try to, and I think this really shines in general with fragrances that have like patchouli and leather note as well. And this is also quite long lasting. I mean, nearly a beast mode to be honest. Like, but in general, Montale fragrances are super long lasting. I got around 8 hours, I would say. It projects a lot, leaves an amazing scent trail, so you don't have to like go overboard with this scent. So this is actually my, let's say, talk on fall fragrances or fragrances I'm wearing this fall. There are definitely more scents, but these are definitely like the fragrances I kind of keep on wearing. I always think of, I always like tend to wear. And I would also love to know your fragrances you're wearing this fall. And if you have any questions, then ask please. If you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment down below, tell me your thoughts, and I hope to see you guys very soon for another review. Thank you.